Welcome to the Any Other Day podcast. I'm your host, Chaylun.
And I'm Ross.
And today's episode, we're just going to introduce ourselves, talk about how we met and why we decided to start this pod, maybe some funny stories that we found, or at least we thought were funny. And to end off the episode, we're just going to summarize what all the pod's going to be all about. And I'll start off by introducing myself. I'm 23 years old. I was born and raised in Northeast Arkansas. I'm married to my high school girlfriend. We've been together for almost 10 years. We've been married for almost five. We have a beautiful daughter. She is 6 months old at the time of this podcast almost. And she's just the light of my life. I hope to just be an awesome person for her. And I hope that this pod makes her proud one day when she listens back. Some of the things I enjoy doing, playing video games, especially with my buddy Ross here, we play video games ever since we knew each other. Really like to go hunting with my family members, duck, deer, just about anything I can do. I like to go fishing, especially when I go on vacation to the beach. I enjoy doing that a lot. And I kind of like to just shoot it with the guys, talk about sports, argue, that LeBron is for sure better than Jordan. 100% fact. We'll talk about that, I'm sure, at some point on the podcast. I actually went to college to be an engineer, and I dropped out to let my wife finish school. And now that she's a teacher and she's done, I actually am now still back, and I'm still getting my degree. But right now I work in a factory with my buddy Ross, and I'll let him take it away and introduce himself.
Okay, so I'm Ross. I'm 23 years old, and I was also born and raised in Northeast Arkansas. Okay, I'm Ross. I'm 23 years old. I was born and raised in Northeast Arkansas, and some things I like to do. I love the sport of basketball. It's pretty much how me and my buddy Chaylun over here kind of connected, because we were on the same basketball team and kind of just like going to games and going to practices, kind of hanging out with each other every single day. We kind of just grew a pretty tight bond. And since we were in about 8th grade, I think, maybe, but anyways, I'm not a big hunter, kind of like he is. I wasn't really raised in the whole hunting scene. I just kind of like play my sports. I play video games with my buddy Chaylun over here. We'd be playing Call of Duty Zombies. We might talk about that here in the future on another podcast. Some, Call of Duty maybe a little bit. And, I went to 3 semesters of college, but ended up dropping out and got a factory job with my buddy Chaylun over here. And we still currently work at the same job, pretty much the same area. And yeah. So backstory of how me and my buddy Chaylun met over here. We first met whenever I moved to his school in around, I would say probably the 3rd grade.
Yeah, probably 3rd grade.
Yeah, 3rd grade. And we weren't really friends. I mean, too young to even remember anything, but pretty much we had mutuals growing up, but I ended up only staying at that school for a couple months, then having to move a few hours away. So, I mean, it's not like our friendship was even anything back in the day, but I was at that school for a little bit. I moved to a different school, and I was there for 3 years, from 4th grade to 7th grade. In my 7th grade year, Chaylun over here, he moved to that school. And so that's whenever we kind of actually got to meet and talk, kind of as like we were older.
We actually weren't friends. 7th grade, I hung out with different people. I actually thought Ross was pretty annoying. Couldn't really stand to be around him. But Then both of us, we moved back to the school I actually moved from because our school got shut down. A bunch of smaller schools in Arkansas got shut down because they didn't have enough students, so the state didn't want to fund them anymore. So that's why that happened. Just a small school, really small town. Uh, when we moved to the new school, we played basketball together, and that's where a lot of our memories are from. Playing basketball with all of our friends that I grew up with, and so did he. Really, really fun time. We really enjoyed doing that. And it seems like just eighth, ninth grade, we kind of just hit it off. Just seemed like we were always at my house playing video games, watching YouTube, going to the gym, and just seemed like we were hanging out almost every single day. The first story that I like to talk about, I've prepared a few. Just wrote them down just so I can remember them. The first one, we were, 11th grade? Whenever this happened?
Yeah, probably.
Well, me and one of my buddies uh, decided to play a prank. I figured out that there was a bench in our locker room when you would come in, and there was also a stall. And I figured out that it was the perfect distance the bench was from this closet where we kept all the basketballs after practice and got them locked up. I figured that out, so I got my buddy. He was a pretty stocky guy, so he can handle just about anybody on the team. And I said, the next person that walks through there and they go to put the ball up, wait over here by the stalls and just shut him in there and hold the door until I can move this bench over. Well, just so happened, unfortunately for Ross, to be him. So we did this, and
Oh my god, dude.
my buddy threw him in there, and I pulled it up, and let's just say Ross about had a meltdown, and we almost lost a teammate that
I
day.
had a mental breakdown in this closet. I was locked in this closet and I had somewhere to be. Okay, keep in mind, I didn't have a way home. So my ride was leaving, okay, and I needed to get out the door. But these guys decided they were going to lock me in this locker room. In this locker where we had to keep the balls and we had to rack the balls or else our coach would make us run. And so we were terrified. And so I was trying to hurry up and get out and get changed and go catch my ride before I lost it. I lost the ride home. And these guys just locked me in there. So I was frustrated and I remember coming out of they finally unlocked me. I could not open up the door. How the whole bench was placed against the bathroom stall, and you just could not open it. Like,
Yeah, we crawled under and locked the stall so it wouldn't open inward. It was just up against it perfectly.
yeah, so I was locked in there, and they finally let me out, and I threw probably the hardest tantrums I ever threw in my life. Okay, I literally told all the guys I hated them and told them I was gonna leave. I was gonna just quit basketball, which was straight cap.
It was a very enjoyable moment for me, even though it wasn't for Ross. It wasn't targeted at Ross specifically. It was just luck of the draw that he came through, and
Yeah,
I found it
bad place at the wrong time. But for him, it was the right place, right time because they had a field day with that.
oh yeah, I tell that story all the time. Anytime we see new people and we talk about stuff that happened in high school, I'll be sure to tell that one because it's quite hilarious, in my opinion.
Okay, wasn't for me though.
Let's see. Okay, I had this other buddy that he's still one of my really good friends, and he actually works with me and Ross at Grangus as well. Okay, actually, here's another story about one of our other buddies with Ross. He actually works at the same factory that we do, so when he hears this, he'll probably get a good chuckle out of it. So I had a girlfriend in high school, which is now my wife, like I talked about in the intro. And I was probably in 10th grade, and I had been friends with this other guy for a long time, ever since I was younger. And he was at the house staying the night, and so was Ross. And I woke up the next day, and it was probably lunch, and my girlfriend asked me if I wanted to come over. And I was like, yeah, sure. And I asked Ross, I said, do you want to ride home? He's like, no, I'll just stay. And I was like, all right. And so I left him.
And me and this guy have never met a day in our lives. We have never said a single word to each other. So it was pretty much two strangers in this dude's house together.
We all have met, but yeah, didn't associate with each other. Like we went to the same school still, but they probably never spoke 5 or 6 words to each other the whole time.
Yeah.
But I left probably about 11 or 12, and I didn't come home until 9 or 10. And when I get back, it was just death stare when I come up the stairs from both of them. But I didn't have anything. And then one of them leaves. I forgot who it was, either one. And they were like, don't ever do that again. We literally sat in this room for 6.5 hours, not speaking a single word to each other. Just looked at each other and watched a movie. I was like, oh, shoot. I said, it was fair game. I warned you guys that I was going to be gone for hours.
Yeah, but didn't our friend have a truck? He could have easily left whenever he could. I don't know why he stayed.
Yeah, he did have a truck. You didn't know.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't have a truck, but he did. He could have easily just left, but we just sat there in awkward silence the whole time. Didn't even speak, I don't think, at all.
I found it pretty hilarious.
I don't even think either one of us even went up to use the bathroom. I think we were just like so shy around each other. I don't even think we even got up to use the bathroom, bro.
Yeah.
6 hours, no food or water. We didn't leave. We just kind of like.
But to think, my house, my grandma. I live with my grandma, and a meal to her was ramen noodles, and for a side was Doritos with Poncho's cheese dip. That's about all we had in the fridge, and maybe some Dr. Pepper if you were lucky. But that's what we feasted on. So they didn't really have much of a choice on food unless they wanted to leave.
Okay, we can go on and on about these stories that we've had together. We have thousands of stories. I'm sure you all will hear about it. But there's one story in particular which involved two other buddies we had, and we were staying at one of the buddies' houses at this time, and for some reason,
He lives in the same town, so we'd stay at my house or stay at his house a lot. Like it just kind of flip flop depending on the weekend.
yeah, we just kind of like stayed at each other's houses pretty much during the weekends and stuff. But there was this game that we used to play like on the way to basketball games. It was kind of a dumb game. Like people could get hurt, people could get sick. It was
the whole school played it too. Like it wasn't just us. Like it was kind of took over the school. Like we had to quit playing it. At one point, the principal told us to quit playing it, didn't he?
yeah.
Sean like told
Because
us to play it anymore.
Yeah, it was getting kind of out of hand. But anyway, to sum up the game, you pick a number between 1 and 10, like two people do, and you say a dare. And like one person will challenge the other person to a dare, and y'all will both count to 3 at the same time, and then say a random number between 1 and 10. And if you both said the same number at the same time, then that other person you challenged had to do the dare.
Or if they didn't want to do that, they had to take two. I'm sure everybody knows who Ric Flair is. A wrestler. He would backhand slap chop bare chest on the dudes, and you had to take 2 of those if you didn't want to do the dare, which was a lot worse than the dare most of the time.
Yeah, we had some heavy hitters for friends. Stone cold backhands, bro. But so we were at his house playing this game at this time of night, and we had some crazy dares. I remember Chaylun, buddy over here, dared me to lick the dust off of the air filter in the HVAC unit. And of course, we said the same number, and so I had to lick from one end to the other, straight dust all over my tongue. Oh my God, it was so bad. But there was one dare in particular that ended the game for us the whole night. So Chaylun over here, he challenged our buddy. For some reason, we went through his old toy box, and we found an old Coke bottle at the bottom of this toy box and had a little bit of Coke at the bottom. This thing has been in here for years. We have no idea.
And there was a piece of gum in the bottom of this Coke bottle.
And there's a piece of gum stuck in this Coke bottle, and Chaylun 10-gamed him. He dared him to turn that bottle up and drink it and swallow the piece of gum in there. And of course, they said the same thing, and they said the same number, and he didn't take the chops. He decided he was going to do the dare, and he turned the bottle up, and he started choking on that piece of gum. And one of our other buddies thought he was throwing up, so he ran downstairs, and Chaylun he grabs him from behind.
I'm licking him, giving
him the Heimlich. And I'm over here smacking him in the back at the same time, and while this dude's face is turning purple, gasping for air, his last breaths in our arms, and finally shoots that piece of gum across the room out of his windpipe. And all he says after about 3 long breaths is, "Can we play Exploding Kittens now?"
Which is a card game that he enjoyed playing. He didn't want to play team game. He was kind of scared of the dares, so
he begged,
was ready to quit.
And he begged us, if his mom's listening to this, he begged us not to tell her about this. So hopefully she's not watching.
Oh, she won't know if we don't say the name.
Yeah, if we don't say the name, but yeah.
All right, I got a really good one about video games. The buddy that actually was running downstairs, he's a part of this story as well. We used to go over to my house and a lot instead of the night, and we got on a Minecraft kick. Like, you know, how it comes back every, 3 or 4 years. Everybody just gets addicted to Minecraft for a little while. And we had it on our iPhones.
It usually happens
iPods.
whenever like we get kind of tired of other games, and so we just kind of go back to the heart and soul.
Most of the nostalgia factor is what it
Yeah.
mostly is. And then you get tired of it, and you kind of do so much. There's only so much you can do in Minecraft before it gets repetitive.
Yeah, yeah.
But we were playing, and my buddy Ross here, he's not a very big fan of telling people about this, but he had a YouTube channel. Actually had quite a big following for us.
My God.
And he used to make videos, and his account was called Expendables. That
No.
was his name.
His Spendables.
His Expendables?
Yes,
His Expendables.
H-I-S Pendables.
Okay, his Expendables. And he used to make like Minecraft videos and like classes on some multiplayer fighter game, shooter game on iOS.
Yeah,
on
modern,
iPhone.
modern Combat 5. If you haven't heard it, it's a banger game back in the day.
But we had it, and my name on Xbox was BallRJ6 for LeBron James, 6 from the Miami Heat, diehard LeBron fan, the GOAT, the greatest of all time. But anyways,
Those facts.
I think this is hilarious. We were playing, all of us, and Ross does his signature intro. His spindle was here. I'm playing with my boy, BallRJ6. Say hello. And I make a feature on the channel. But anyways,
It wasn't even a Minecraft video. It was a Dead Trigger zombie video.
yeah, but I'm in there. But I was playing Minecraft.
Yeah.
But anyways, after that, we were playing, and you know, this is about how every single friendship group's Minecraft time ends after about 2 weeks. We were diehard playing. Everyone had their house built, diamonds in the chests.
Keep in mind, we were playing. Chaylun was playing on an iPad. I was playing on my iPod, and our friend was playing on his phone. So it wasn't like we were on a console. We were playing Minecraft Pocket Edition iOS.
And we had built up a good amount of materials, resources, and something happens, and this is how it always goes. Me and my other buddy, after Ross went to the bathroom or went to a shower, fell asleep, we decided that we were going to TNT his house.
Straight griefed me, bro.
And he came back. We acted like nothing happened, and his whole house blew up, and all his diamonds were gone. So and that it kind of ended. We kind of ended the tenure on that. Kind of went and did something else, but
They blew up my beach house, bro.
I'm sure every friend group has a Minecraft story where they end. During COVID, we played.
Oh yeah.
My wife actually got COVID, and it was when, if you didn't get COVID, it was actually worse than having COVID in terms of having to stay locked down. So I had to stay in lockdown for 2 weeks, and Ross was on a shift where he was off 4 days and on 4 days. So on his 4 days off, we played Minecraft, no joke, 16 hours a day?
It's probably up there. We were playing with my brother too, weren't we?
Mm-hmm, yeah, and my wife actually played with us. I got her on my MacBook, and we'll say her name. Not her real name, but her name was Aunt Poopsie 123, and she was a hardcore carrier of the interior design of our home.
Oh yeah.
But it was a lot of fun, and of course she got tired of it. I think she got tired of just hearing us talk and keeping her up at night because we played a lot longer after she did. And same thing ended. We had our fun, went and found stuff, and at the end, once we got Elytras, which is makes you fly, we started just killing each other. We started just shooting each other with infinite bow and arrows, stuff like that. So it kind of just ruined it, and we all just kind of. His brother is a rager, hardcore rager. I'll be listening to this, but he rages very hard. And once me and Ross tag teamed on him, yeah, he was done. It was over.
Pause.
Mega pause.
Pause on that one. We didn't tag team nothing.
Rewind. No homo pause.
But
oh man.
I'm telling you, my brother, he's a big time rager, especially
Both your brothers are.
yeah, both of them are. So my other brother, I'm a triplet, by the way. A little bit more backstory on me, but my triplet brother he used to play Apex Legends all the time whenever Apex was kind of big, and I would play with him sometimes, or I would just kind of be in like a PlayStation party with him, and he's the kind of guy, like, he would scream so loud like his mic would cut out, but sometimes he would pick up everything, and so he was raging so hard at Apex. I just heard him say mother effer and punch his desk, and I could literally hear everything fly up off his desk and land back down.
Like a cartoon.
Yes, bro. Like his monitor sideways, bro.
Mm-hmm. And his other brother, who actually also worked at where we work at for a while, for a short tenure. He doesn't anymore, but we used to play Fortnite. I'm sure everybody knows what Fortnite is. We were there at the beginning, though.
Yep.
season winners. We had
September 2017.
yeah, we were early to Fortnite, and we got pretty serious. We played me, you, your brother, and another buddy that we played basketball with. We played every night. Sometimes we stay up to 3 or 4 in the morning on school night.
As soon as we got home.
Yeah, as soon as basketball practice was over, from 5 o'clock until 3 in the morning. On the weekends, we'd play until 7 or 8 in the morning on Saturday. But we landed at the same spot all the time. It's called Snobby Shores.
Snobby Shores.
Well, the circle was always really far away, so we would head off, and his brother liked to be a hero.
Oh, he
That's right,
thought he was ninja. Okay.
Yeah, he would try to 1v4 a squad just because he thought he could. And we were going, and this one time we were up, and his mic wasn't working this day. Or maybe he broke it for raging.
He broke it, bro. He threw it across the room.
But he dies trying to 1v4. We're off. All three of us are together. We're alive. We're good. He does it. And all I hear through Ross's headset is, "You mother effers don't know how to play the game. Y'all are sorry. I carry you every single day. Y'all are terrible at the game. I'm never playing with you again." And
He came to my room to say this, and Chaylun's hearing this through my own headset.
well, Lisa say, what, maybe 20 minutes later he was back in the party?
Back in the party, couldn't
Yeah.
talk to us, so.
Yeah, he broke his mic. But yeah, Ross has some ragers in his family.
I
It
do.
makes for a lot of funny stories, though.
Yeah. I don't know how I didn't pick up the whole anger side. I mean, I have rage. Everyone rages at video games, but I definitely do not have the anger issues like my brothers do.
Oh, one game that'll get me going, 2K.
Oh,
Online.
my God.
My team, it gets me going every single time. I think this year will be different. I'll get good. I'll start early. Doesn't matter. There's trolls immediately off the ripski.
Oh, 2K is so. One of our buddies, the one that choked on the Coca-Cola with the gum in it. Me and him were playing 2K at his house one time, and he beat me on a game-winning 3 in the corner with Steven Adams.
Now, we'll give him more preface. He is ultimate tryhard. I bet he spent $10,000 on 2K since we were in high school.
Oh, for sure.
He spends so much money. All of his paycheck goes to the NBA 2K and MLB The Show. But he is a troll. He's the troller. He gets a center, and he just does post moves all game. Same player.
Straight cheesing with
Finds
one player.
Yes, finds one good player, and it's not enjoyable to play with him.
No. His cousin played with him once, and I forgot who he might have been playing as Joel Embiid or DeMarcus Cousins.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It was a big center, and he just had like almost every single point in the whole game with him. And then his cousin told him to play as a EuroLeague team, and his cousin was gonna play as like a super team, and he ended up beating him with the EuroLeague team. And what did he do?
He threw the controller as hard as he could against the wall. I was also there on the couch above me, and he said, "I'm going to bed," and went downstairs and didn't hear from him until the next day. Like I said, I'm not immune to the Rage Monster. 2K gets me going. I actually had a PS4 controller that was designated to Rage on. So I'd have my controller playing, and I would grab this other controller and beat it on my dresser whenever I felt the urge. One time I got so mad I opened a window up, chunked it out of the window. My grandma found it. I never live it down to this day. She says she finds it. That's how my grandma was. Like, just if you wanted to get on your nerves, she would find a way. Drive you up a wall, and she did that, and she claimed that I broke the controller by throwing it out. It was already broke. I hate to tell her that, but I had broken it into smithereens in pieces.
He had his Rage controller sitting beside his TV whenever he was playing 2K. I remember seeing that going over to his house.
Yeah, it had a bunch of holes and stuff where pieces that fell off. But I'm sure everybody rages in a game. My little brother is pretty bad about it. I would get to trolling on 2K as well if I knew I could do it. Didn't do it to anybody, but to my little brother I chose to. And Nerlens Noel was a cheat code in one of the 2Ks, 2K15, and he actually could shoot threes for some reason, even though he was horrific at shooting. All he could do was block shots and dunk, but I beat him, and I talked a little trash to him, and actually came up to 3-point line. He was already over the breaking point, and he was like, "Why don't you just shoot a three instead of dunking it?" And so I did, cashed it. Threw the Xbox 360 controller against the wall, bounced it, went outside, didn't hear from him for 5 or 6 hours. We could keep talking all night about some of those stories that we have, just that are funny. That's what a lot of our times together consist of. But that's what this pod will mostly consist of. It's just us talking about those stories and what happened to us in our childhood and how we grew up. But we also would like to talk about, movies that we like. play some trendy social media games that people have been playing, like Wavelength, stuff like that.
A wavelength's a good one.
Yeah, we'll do some, some casual tier lists, stuff like that. Talk about favorite and least favorite things.
Yeah, such as fast food, sports teams, different positions in sports, stuff like that. And kind of, this podcast, we're pretty much going to be talking about anything and everything when it comes to sports, funny stories that that we've been through, kind of like childhood stories of just like my own type of stories with my family. Maybe he has some stories he would like to share too. Something just kind of like, I don't know, give you a little bit more background of like how we are and like how we were kind of brought up and stuff. But yeah,
We'll also talk about stuff that's going on, social media, like something big happens, or we try to stay away from politics. That's a sensitive subject for a lot of people, so we'll
Yeah.
try to stay away from polarizing topics like that. And
yeah, we're just talking
No.
about like topics kind of like, recently the Jake Paul and Nate Diaz just fought.
yeah, stuff like
Yeah,
that.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Jake Paul got the win sadly, but
I'm really praying on his downfall. Honestly, I'm not a big fan.
I'm not a fan of Jake Paul. This is gonna be a Jake Paul hating podcast, but apparently him and Nate Diaz kind of agreed to a $10 million MMA fight. I don't know when that'll occur, but take place.
hmm But yeah, we just look forward to having a lot of fun. We're gonna try to post twice a week, hopefully on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Try to get a schedule going. I know it'll probably be hard just starting up, but we'll be happy for whatever views we get, and we'll hope to just earn your watch, earn your listen. Thank you for watching, and tune in next time.